Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We are going to dive right into this 3-month reading. We're going to be looking at what is coming, the energies around you for April, May, and June. So let's dive in. Let's get started here for Pisces. Also, guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for your prayers for Debbie, your comments. She sees them, she reads them, she feels the prayers. She sent me an email last night thanking us for caring for her. It's hard sometimes when you have no support system and you have no one to rely on, and you have someone relying on you, and you're struggling, and it's hard. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Pisces is one of the most beautiful signs because of their empathy and their compassion, and I am so grateful. All right, here we go. So for Pisces in the month of April. Okay, let's see what's happening. You have don't let your past hold you back, and confidence is your key to success. Ooh, I just got like fake it till you make it energy. And there's nothing wrong with faking it till you make it. There have been many times in life where I've thought, I don't know if I really can do this. I guess there's only one way to find out, I'm going to try. And, sometimes it works out better than others, but, the only way to know is to try, to show up and to say, I think I can. Pisces. Okay. Pisces. Pisces. You guys keep getting this energy coming up. All right. There is something here. Okay. Some of you may have dealt with narcissists in the past, or, probably all of us have dealt with narcissists at some point in our life, to be honest with you. But there is this feeling of someone or a pattern where people, like, you can be out doing all the good in the world. You can be out, being yourself, not treading on anyone else, not causing any problems, just being you. And yet still attract jealous people, envious people, insecure people who then try to bring you down, okay? And it seems like this pattern, this cycle, these interactions have affected you. I mean, as they do, they affect us all, right? I mean, it's very hard to get through something like that really unscathed, but there's just something here where it's not really like you're questioning yourself or you don't necessarily believe you're good enough, but it's just sort of like almost this feeling of not trusting the people around, or having your perception of people and situations really affected by these negative experiences. And there is something here, feeling vulnerable, feeling exposed, feeling like even if you do your absolute best, there's this energy that comes at you and sort of destroys it. And I'm telling you guys so strongly right here, right now, I am getting this energy of God weeding your garden, of, the things that, like, for example, if this happens at work, okay, and you are attacked and then someone doesn't give you a promotion or doesn't see you, just overlooks you, or you've really earned, you feel like you've done the work to really earn the respect, but you're not getting it, and there's this energy of like being undermined, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you can't try to continuously prove yourself. You can't, you know, none of those things really work in this situation. There is this energy of just sort of having to accept it and sort of move on. But then there is this like unsettled feeling of I'm not in control of my own fate. Like, even if I do my very best, I'm having these encounters that are preventing my very best from being rewarded. And it is literally showing me that path is not meant for you. And it's not that you're not meant to have success. It's not that you're not meant to be promoted or to be seen or to be acknowledged or to whatever. It is just that is a guardrail. That is a directional thing. And you could theoretically follow that path, but it would take you further from your soul purpose. And ultimately, it would not really be fulfilling. It's giving me this vibe of like, have you ever noticed that those people who really control things and seem to be driving all of the backbiting and the undermining and everything, they seem to be rewarded all the time. They seem to get successful. They seem to just never suffer any consequences for it. And you know, you're not willing morally to like be like them or to do that. And so, you know, like you constantly feel, or you at times feel that you're at the mercy of that energy. Well, it's really giving me that what seems like success, you know, if you have ever, you know, like, it's giving me an example of driving. I always get these driving examples. It's so funny. But if you've ever driven through really bad weather and you know, you are white knuckling it, they call it. You know, you're holding onto the steering wheel, you're super focused, your whole body is rigidly tense, trying to, you know, navigate this and concentrate and keep your car on the road and not have an accident, and you're, you know, you're not enjoying that experience at all. But when you have the radio turned on, the windows down, you're playing your favorite music, you've got your best friend in the car, you've got your favorite snacks and a good, you know, drink and good stories and laughter, and you can drive 1,500 miles and be exhausted at the end of it, but deliriously exhausted, happily exhausted, fulfilled exhausted, satiated, content exhausted, and fall into bed and get up and do it all over again the next day. My daughter and I do road trips all the time. We've driven all over the United States, and together we just love it. And our boys do not enjoy the road trip that much. They don't like to travel actually all that much. I mean, somewhat, but not all that much. Where my daughter and I really get into it. But anyway, if you are that person that is wreaking the havoc, that is undermining, that is chipping away, that is trying to control everyone else's opinion of everyone else, including your own, and you are living life white knuckling it. Your body is tense, you can't relax, you can't enjoy it, you can't be free to just let go and be yourself and be appreciated and enjoyed for who you are. You have gotten away from that. And say what you want about humanity or whatever, but at the core of the core of the core, I really do truly believe we are made of the same stuff. We are all, you know, pretty much the same. Our wants, our desires, our needs are all the same. How we go about living our life to fulfill that can be very, very different. But, you know, we all have the same core. And so that person that's white knuckling it through life, they're really unhappy. They're really, it just gave me the word unhinged. That's a strong word. But it's giving me that they're 60 seconds away from crashing all the time, just like you are when you're driving through terrible weather. Like this this analogy I'm getting right here is like, wow, I think I'm going to hold on to this for a long time. But there's just this energy of feeling like that person shattered you. You were one of their casualties. They ran over you and left you to die on the side of the road. But the fact of the matter is, you really have the opportunity to get back up and to get in the car and to roll the windows down and get your favorite snacks and play your music and have a good time all the time. This person never has that opportunity. They're so far away from anything authentic internally and externally that there is no way for them to feel something like contentment on a soul deep level. And I don't know if that's supposed to make you feel better or not, but why we're talking about this so much. But there is this thing about realizing that my mind is just flooded with so many things like it's not how many times you get knocked over, it's how many times you get back up, and like all those things that people say, and it is really giving me that vibe of just like, Pisces, you are so resilient, and part of your resiliency is a refusal to give up your true authentic self, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it will ultimately be rewarded. And it actually is being rewarded. And it is giving me this sense of, you are so much better off than you even really realize that you are, just because you have maintained this sense of self and this commitment to who you actually are and what's really important. And you haven't, become a passenger in that person's car. You could have been like, oh, okay, I'll go along with you. I'll say the sky is red when the sky is blue, because that's what you need me to do in order for me to sit in your car with you while you take me on this treacherous trip. And God forbid, we're trying to get up a snowy hill and there's too much weight in the car. You're going to make someone get out, and you don't care who. You know what I mean? Like you have no sense of loyalty. But there's just this feeling that, people have hurt you or left you on the side of the road for dead. I mean, that's what it keeps giving me. And that's, a strong visual, but, it can be on whatever spectrum it is for you, right? Whatever part of the spectrum it is for you. But that isn't a reflection of you. And what is a reflection of you is that you didn't get in the car, or that you got out of the car, or that you are going to rise every time you fall. And that every time something like this happens, it actually reaffirms your commitment to yourself and your authenticity and your true nature, rather than, it may be a meandering walk to that space, but that's where you end up, rather than selling yourself out. There is something here with these secrets and this key where it does feel like this is coming out, or something is going to be exposed. And Pisces, it almost feels to me with this where you're doing some of the exposing. And not by calling it out, not directly, not by calling a spade, it's telling me, but by being you and being authentic to you and just carrying on the way you have always carried on. It is like the perfect foil. If you guys remember from literature class what a foil is, it's like the opposite of something that makes what the one thing is perfectly obvious, because the opposite is there for you to see it. that's what you are. Like that's what it's showing me is that in this month of April, you really making this commitment to yourself and to stay true to you and to do what is in your best interest all the time, and just remain in your own authenticity is exposing these white knuckle drivers. I don't even know what to say. Okay. And it's exposing the truth of past situations for a lot of you. Like they're you know, when the high is on the hog or something, when it's high on the hog, or when things are really excessive or things are really good, we can afford to be excessive. We can afford to indulge people's fragile egos. But when things start to get tight and things start to stiffen up, we've got to get back to reality. We've got to get back to honesty. We can't afford to go on these wild goose chases or indulge people who, you know, are operating just strictly out of a place of insecurity and are relying on the people around them to back it up. We have to go with reality, because there is no fat on the bone. There is no, like, this is a very strong message that is getting me right here. Like, this is the time when you shine. It's when there is so much extra or so much that we can, wow, oh my God, Pisces. Okay, Jesus, I don't know what this is happening here. I gotta turn on my light. I didn't, and I have like rituals. Pisces, something is happening, okay? There is something where I do feel like someone has been possibly strategizing or did strategize against you. Or there's something like this, okay? And, you know, this is like, you know, maybe you were married to a narcissist and you got divorced and this narcissist ran around and did a smear campaign and turned everybody against you. Or you were in the workplace and somebody turned everybody against you. Well, they're not able to make any more progress. And it's kind of like this person only sort of thrives and feels successful and feels emboldened when people are really listening to them and people are really like giving them attention, or someone is breaking down because they're being kind of seen. Their strategy is being exposed. They're not able to make any more progress. Where Pisces, I feel like you've turned your back on the situation and you've sort of focused on yourself or focused on where you're headed or where you're going, and you have stayed very true to yourself. And you are embracing your own authenticity. It's like none of us are perfect, right? But we're all beautiful. You know, we all have our purpose. We all have our place where we fit in, where we belong, and where we're needed. And no one else can fill that the way you can. And I feel like Pisces, there's just sort of this energy of, you know, getting up off the side of the road where you're left for dead and, you know, putting yourself back together and then learning to embrace yourself and learning to embrace your authenticity and knowing that we're all very quirky, right? None of us is like, there is no normal. We all are quirky. And it's like becoming this space of embracing our own quirkiness or our own, you know, almost like gifts. It's showing me just like saying, yeah, that's who I am. That's how I am. You know, I make no apologies for it. I was made that way for a reason. I might not know what it is yet, but that's me, you know. But with the church and the snowflake here, there is this energy of recognizing the divinity and the perfection in even your imperfection or in even your difference, the difference that you are to whatever this is. There's like this energy of like steamrollerness, where your voice can't be heard, or where, you know, where you're just sort of getting run over. You know, you're not getting recognized. You're not getting you know, whatever. And in fact, like, the steamroller energy is kind of like maybe other people are, or it's like the loudest voice in the room is the one being heard, and you're just not a loud person in a room. And, you know, kind of almost being disappointed or wishing you were different, or wishing maybe, or just seeing that those people are getting rewarded and being like, man, I would like to be rewarded even if I don't like the way they're going about that. You know what I'm saying? There's just something here where there's something disparaging happening, even in the inside. And then it's like a decision to not allow yourself to feel that way anymore, and to just say, you know what, to hell with it. I'm turning my back on it. I'm letting it go. You know, I'm not going to focus. My life is too precious to me to kind of focus on that type of energy. So I'm just going to sort of let it be and just sort of go in my own direction. And there's this alchemy, this mortar and pestle energy, where it's like, it's giving me the Eight of Pentacles, where it's like, you know, working on yourself, mastering yourself, you know, honing your reaction to things, honing your perspective on things to where you're not doing further damage to yourself by what you're telling yourself about what you're experiencing. You kind of have a really healthy perspective on it. And that is where the alchemy began. You know, that's where you started to save yourself. And I feel like here, you know, in the month of April, you have this opportunity to sort of emerge into a room a much more confident person, because you have Eight of Pentacles Day. You have mastered yourself. You have, you know, it's like, if you can overcome that, or whatever that was, or whoever that was, wow, things are changing. Stuff is falling apart. Systems that were in place, that were working, that seemed impenetrable, are falling apart. And this is a huge change in fate for you, Pisces. This is a huge change in energy for you, Pisces. Wow, wow, and wow. Okay, let me see. April is going to be a month of change. It feels like a beginning. Wow, okay. You guys are getting happiness as an inside job, and soon you will have the answers you seek. On the bottom of the deck, you have unexpected communication is coming in. Pisces, something is shifting, something is changing. There is a transformation taking place. Let's look at who you are dealing with in April. Who is going to have heavy sway, or who is Pisces? Influence in April. Okay. Moth spirit, surrender now. Someone is forced to surrender their position. Think on your feet. This is a deceptive, wily person who, you know, was constantly almost like maybe changing the rules of the game, to sort of always sort of bring it back to them. They were someone who, they could have been in and out of your life. It's giving me Knight of Wands energy a little bit here for some reason. But it's also, you know, it's someone who there's always something that they want. There's always something they're pursuing. There's always something that they're chasing. And they'll kind of stop at nothing or do whatever it takes. It's like they have to have it. And it's this drive of like, I have to have that light. I have to have that thing. That kind of causes them to not really have a lot of morality, you know, or you know, how do I even want to say this? You know, they're not beholden to anything except their own desire. Very selfish. Pisces, you know, they may have treated you like absolute crap, you know, honestly. But the truth is they just want to be like you. Maybe they want to be you. Because there's something really authentic and really stable in you. even if it appears that they win and you lose all the time, they're not having any fun. They're not present in the moment. They're perpetually strategizing and planning and trying to control everything. They can never just relax and be themselves and breathe and just be like trusting their own ability to succeed. They have to play this game. And in that game, they know no one is really their friend. It's all about what they can do. There's a heavy price for this energy. It's just giving me. It's like they don't know how to handle you, Pisces, because no matter what tactic they have thrown at you, you haven't surrendered. You haven't said, okay, you win, and let them win. You haven't come to their side. You haven't acquiesced. You haven't kowtowed. You haven't, whatever it is. And as a result, it's putting them, oh my goodness gracious, a bald eagle is circling outside my window right now. I am not even kidding you. Oh my God, the beautiful white tail feathers. There's 2 bald eagles that I have now been seeing around my house. And I live on a golf course, and I live on one hole, and on the hole right before my hole, which I can see from my backyard when I take my dogs out, I've seen a few times now 2 bald eagles sitting on a limb of a cypress tree. And now I just see this one circling outside as I'm talking about this, as I'm talking about how you have never really surrendered. You have never said, okay, you know what, you win, I give up. You've put so much pressure on me socially, mentally, emotionally, whatever, that I'm just gonna, sell my soul to you so that I can not feel like this anymore. You have radically shifted in order to maintain your identity, your sense of self. And as a result, it's like your perspective has gotten higher and higher and higher, and it's easier for you to see these things, kind of the truth of them. And the more that you see the truth of them, the less you are affected by them. And so it's like you are a major roadblock for this person, whether you, or these people, whether you really realize it or not, whether you understand your own strength or your own power in that situation. You may feel as though you've just walked away and they win, and you have capitulated in your own way by saying, it's just not even worth the fight. I'm not even going to interact in this. Fine. Have it. Take it. They don't have the bravery and the courage to do that, or to say it, or to take that kind of risk, or to be that committed to themselves. They don't believe in themselves on that level. They have to play these games. So by you doing that, you are truly exposing to this person how tenuous their grip on their own situation is. And by not acquiescing, by not saying, okay, I'll do whatever, in order to whatever, you're showing people that there is an option, that they don't have to just get in the car when this person crosses their path. They can, choose to go their own way. They can believe in themselves too. And that is causing it's like the anti-venom or something like this. It's cracking things. And this person doesn't know how to deal with it. That you are actually showing that you are stronger than this person, more capable than this person, better than this person, and that everything this person ever said about you has to be a lie. And it's exposing to those people their own weaknesses for believing this person, for getting in the car with this person. And, you know, this person doesn't want to be the one that's blamed when the ship goes down, you know, when the car wrecks. They may even be looking for someone else to blame or to put in the driver's seat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Okay, let me grab some tarot here. Well, actually, let me grab this first and then... Wow. Pisces, you know, this, you may feel even sometimes that you're showing a strong face, but you don't actually always feel that strong. You know what I mean? That like you're presenting this like, oh yeah, it's okay, I have it all together kind of energy, when in fact inside you feel a little insecure or a little bit like, this keeps happening to me, or why does this type of person always come and find me and treat me this way or put me through this, you know, da 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 da. But what that whole thing caused you to do was this alchemy, this mortar and pestle energy, and this wheel of fortune and this healing heart energy. It's like, because you took the approach you took and you took the attitude that you took, you actually turned this super negative thing that could have run you over and could have really damaged you more dramatically than it did. Like, I'm getting like squashed you. You're rising and you're healing, and you know, it's not like you're going to be the same person you were before this happened. You can't ever go back to that, you know, but you are someone who now maybe is even coming into the knowledge of their own strength and their own power and just their own... I mean, it's not like you had an owner's manual. It's not like you had someone saying, okay, this happened, now do this. You know, you figured it out on your own. It's a combination of listening to your own intuition, and even it's giving me like being edged out of the game. But this was the divine working with you. And this is you stepping into your divinity, you know? This being edged out of certain situations, you know, what wasn't the door slamming in your face rejection that it felt like. It really was redirection and God weeding your garden. And, you know, sometimes we think, oh, we want to be popular, we want to be liked by these people, or we want an easier road, or whatever. But in this case, this actually helped you to step into a totally different energy, where now when you travel on that road to success, it will be one of authenticity and you will know it. And there will be no compromising that. There will be no, okay, I'll get in someone else's car. No, you're driving yourself, and you know it. Like, I don't know really how to say this. Let me grab some tarot. You have the Fool and the Three of Wands with the Magician. I mean, guys, come on. This, you know, the Fool card is Aries energy. A lot of times it's Uranus energy. I'm not sure what Uranus is doing, but that might be something to look at. There's just this energy of, you know, in order to be the Fool, you have to have released the burdens of the past. The heaviness of carrying that weight of not being accepted into the car, or, you know, having to
be almost run over by it in order to survive it, coming through your life. And but with the Fool card and the Three of Wands, this is like, we're not looking behind us, we're not driving forward with our eyes in the rearview mirror, because we're not going that way. We're going forward. And with the Three of Wands, this is a heavy focus on the future. And this is beyond the choice. The choice has already been made. You've already faced the choice of, am I going to get in the car, or am I going to almost be run over by it and then pick myself up by the bootstraps and become my own alchemist and, move myself through this position and somehow find a way to be better off because of it. You've already done that. Now you're at the Three of Wands, where now you're standing on the precipice of a brand new chapter of your life in a totally different energy with completely different capacity. And it's beautiful. And that's April. All right, so let's go and see what May is going to bring. Beautiful, beautiful energy here in April. It feels like, maybe some things are still wrapping up. You may still, for some of you, be working through kind of mentally some of this, toxicity that you have lived through, survived, overcome, not surrendered to. But there's an energy here of, this is the end. You really are standing on the precipice of a brand new moment in time. All right, so moving on to May. Let us see. This may also, in April, if some of you, this is like way in your rearview mirror, there may even be news or something coming in. You may even receive some kind of apology, or you may run into people associated with this time in your life and be treated very differently by them. There's something shifting. All right. For May, please, Spirit. For May, what does Pisces need to know for May? What's coming for May? Wow. I mean, seriously, Pisces, look at this energy. We had that new moon energy in the new moon in Leo, right? In that last moment, the new moon in Leo can also reference the time of, I think it's like the end of January, beginning of February. I keep wanting to say April, but we were just doing the reading. So if there might have been something specific that happened at that time that's about to be revealed here. But there's a lot of, the truth shall set you free. And there are some things that cannot be long hidden. And one of them is the truth, right? And there is this energy of like, when things were grim, when things were dark, when things were not going in your favor, you continued to you stayed steady as you could. And you continue to put one foot in front of the other, and you continue to work really hard and make progress. And, if this is picking yourself up from the half-dead side of the road, I'm reading the best book right now. It's called The Road to Tender Hearts or something. Oh, it's so good. I'll get you the real name of it. It's so good. Anyway, I think that's why I keep saying half-dead on the side of the road. But, there's just this energy of your hard work paying off. All of those steps that you took, probably in the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, where it's like you don't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel all the time, but you know that you're committed to something, to yourself, to making it better, to not letting this thing swallow you whole. So you're just putting one foot in front of the other. And please keep in mind as I'm saying this, this may be coming out very dramatic or very extreme or like on one end of the spectrum, and you may not totally relate to that being that strong, but you can fall anywhere on this spectrum, okay? Like, and it can still be your reading. So just listen to your own intuition, okay? I just say it as it comes to me, all right? So there's this energy where, you know, when someone tries to break you down and tries to make you question yourself and tries to make you feel alienated or scapegoated or, you know, separated from the pack, or like you don't belong here, or like you can't fit in, or like, you know, there's something really wrong with this person or whatever, you know, and you can't really fight against it. You can't. Like, people are always going to see what they want to see. So if people want to believe that, there's no amount of you talking or trying to prove yourself that's going to change their mind about that. But it brought you to this place where you know, possibly you questioned everything and you wondered, you know, is it me? And there's something here. It's like a net that catches you. It's hitting me really hard in the heart chakra, and this green is the color of the heart chakra. And it's just like where, okay, you were willing to actually look at it. You were willing to actually ask yourself, am I enough? Is there something really wrong with me? And you really asked yourself and you really looked. And what you found is you are good enough. And if you haven't quite found that yet, you will, because you are good enough. Trust me, you are good enough. I'm a total stranger, nobody that owes you a thing. And I am telling you, you are good enough. And so every step that you took in the dark, every step that you took, not necessarily knowing exactly where it was leading or if it was paying off or if it was worth anything. And maybe you even questioned quite a few of them. But, you know, when you keep putting one foot in front of the other, you do make a big shift. You do go a long distance. You know, you may not go rapidly from point A to point B, but you're getting there. And when you turn around and you look back, you realize sometimes, like, wow, I was just putting one foot in front of the other, but I'm like miles away from where I was before. And it's almost like you've been in the dark traveling and somebody's turning the light on and you're like, whoa, I'm in a totally different country. I'm on a totally different planet. Like, what just happened? All those steps are paying off. It's all worth it. For Pisces, wow. Wow. Some of you may be graduating in May. I don't know if that's literal or metaphorical. Actually, it's hitting me like this, where, and maybe even if you are graduating like from school or a program or a certification or something like that, there is this also this sense of this is not just a piece of paper or a diploma or a certificate or something. This marks something really major. And it is this, in order to put one foot in front of the other, you have to kind of believe in yourself. You have to kind of know that you're worth it and that life is worth it. You have to have at least a smidgen of faith in something, because otherwise you just give up. You know what I mean? And whatever this is that's coming in May, it does feel a bit like an Ace of Pentacles. It does also, like, it keeps giving me like a piece of paper or like a diploma, like, you know, those leather folders or whatever that they put a diploma in, those padded folders. Like, I'm getting that energy here. And it's weird because she's holding a book, like she's not holding a diploma. So I don't know if it's literal or figurative, but this can also mark the actual completion, or like this is the end. Like, this is, you know, where, you know, you separate yourself from this kind of energy, possibly even like permanently. You know, it's just sort of giving me becoming untouchable to this kind of influence, where maybe for some of you for years or for multiple phases of your life, you felt at its mercy. There is this energy of, you know, freedom from it. Like it can truly, this is a permanent thing. It's like, you know, if you graduate from college, no one can take your diploma away from you. Like once you have earned it, once you have worked for it, once you have done it, you know, no one can take that away. You will always be a college graduate or a high school graduate or, you know, whatever the thing is. Once you get that certificate or whatever it is, you have that. No one can ever change that. And this, it's like, you know, there may be some things that are coinciding with each other here, but it's even giving me, even if you are getting a piece of paper or a certificate, it is so much more than that. It is a reflection of what you are made of. It's not just that you were smart enough or that you passed the right tests or that you took this or you did that or whatever the case may be. It is that you didn't give up. You didn't let some circumstance, situation, person, gossip, you know, whatever, that has befallen other people. Like, let me tell you, it's really giving me that. You did not let that suck you under. You did not let that, you know, make you surrender your God-given life or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's coming out really strong here, so I don't know what this is. Let me grab these major arcana. There is something here where, and you are also moving in a different direction. For some of you, there is a relationship coming in that is an actual strong bond that you do have a contract, an agreement, a commitment to in this life that is meant to fortify you, strengthen you, possibly even help you move away from this energy or even the remembrance of this. This tower just stays coming out. You have the tower on the bottom of the deck, and then you have the lovers. This is a dramatic spring season for you, Pisces. At least it's spring here where I live. You know, and these changes, this transformation is a reflection of your choices. You see, it's like wherever you're coming away from is falling apart. It's not sustainable. You can't white knuckle it forever. You know, eventually, you know, it just takes too much out of you. And there is some kind of falling apart. There is something that someone else was building on a faulty foundation. You know, it was never the truth. And it's falling apart. And the choices that you have made, it's like, you see this? There's harmony. There is coupling. There is... it's funny, there's lightning here too, but it's like something positive coming in. It's like now when the lightning strikes, it brings something that fortifies you, and you may even look at lightning different or the tower different, you know, instead of it being something unexpected where you're like, oh, here we go again, oh my god, you know, earth shattering, you know, this is gonna be awful, how am I gonna survive it? You're like, oh, change is coming, it must be good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I first started reading tarot and the tower would come out, I just hated it. This is why I always clarify the tower. I would always be like, oh no, the tower, you know, this is going to be bad, because towers in my life up until that point were really bad. And I think part of, you know, the beauty of reading tarot every day is that you start to look at life completely differently. It's these same cards that come out day after day, time after time. And, you know, instead of feeling like they're against you, you feel like they're for you. You know, you start to feel like you know, it's all for you. It's all happening for you. I don't know how else to describe it, rather than it's happening to you, and like, how do you get out of this, and how do you avoid this, and how do you, it's more like, oh, okay, things are changing. And when you see things changing, you're like, this is divine intervention. Something not meant for me is going to fall away. How good is that? You don't look at it the same as like, oh, someone's doing something to me, and I might lose friends, or I might lose this, or you're like, if I lose it wasn't meant for me. I don't know how to describe it, but it really, you relax completely. And that's how I feel here. It's almost like, what once would have maybe even felt really tumultuous or really even scared me when I saw it come out of the deck, now I'm like, oh my gosh, something is coming in quickly and unexpectedly. How exciting. So I don't know. The Devil and the Tower were the two cards that always freaked me out. I thought, there can be nothing good about these two energies. There's what is the positive on the spectrum? And I meditated on it, and I saw them come out so many times, and I saw them come out for me, and I saw what it meant for me when they came out, and I realized, like, these things are actually gifts. It is divine intervention. All right. See, I told you guys this is the completion. This is where you get the diploma. The cycle is complete. It's time to start a new one. And then you have unexpected money coming, Pisces. Take the chance you've been wanting to. I feel like this tower could be very internal. Let me see what's underneath it. Oh, wow. This tower could be very internal. This could be a moment of absolute clarity where you kind of almost even realize that you win or that you won. And you weren't even trying to. It wasn't even a game for you. You weren't even strategizing. You weren't even, remember that chessboard that we saw earlier? It wasn't even like that for you. You were just trying to do you and be you and not hurt anyone and not cause any problems for anyone else, but just, be in your highest and best. You weren't even doing it relative to anyone else. You know what I'm saying? And like, you got sucked into something because other people were so threatened by you in that energy. And that cycle is completing. And now you're like, okay, I'm free to go and do. Wow, see, the owl sees through the facade. Secrets lifted. Guys, I mean, these cards are just so... do you know, like, this Wolverine is giving me, like, honey badger energy. Like you may take blows, or people may come at you or try, but you just keep coming back. I actually feel that, like, there may be some public you may be recognized, you may win an award. With this, also with the garden and this graduation energy, some of you may graduate. It may even be an outdoor ceremony. Some of you may go to a wedding. Some of you, like, there could be some kind of event coming up in May, especially one that's outside. You could actually meet someone at this event with the Lover's card too. Like, this could even be where there's like some kind of full circle moment for you. You may run into someone at a wedding that lets you know kind of that you won, where it just becomes perfectly clear. And also, you don't care. I like, to some degree, I just get this energy of just like, you weren't doing it for that reason. You weren't taking all those steps one right after the other in the dark because of anyone else other than yourself. Other than you didn't want to allow your life to be dictated to you by something negative. You didn't want to stay in the dark. You weren't willing to just be the victim and be stuck. So you put one foot in front of the other. And now it sharpened your sword. The resistance sharpened your sword, Pisces. You know, you're the owl, the eagle. Like, look at these high flying birds that see so much, that vision is so precise. It honed you into someone that can see something a mile away. You know, you're not gonna fall prey to somebody else's enchantment. You know, you are the alchemist. You have taken your own power back, and you are fully functioning. You are using, you know, your gut instinct. If your gut tells you something, you listen to it. You're using your sword. You're a sharp thinker. You're an intellect. You don't feel like you need to say something that isn't true to just go along with something. You are willing to speak your truth, or to not say anything, but not be untrue, or not say something just to make someone else feel comfortable. You are listening to your feelings. You know, if you are with someone and they make you feel like crap, you're not going to spend time with them again. There is a truth here. You know, you are making things happen for yourself. You are like a self-contained machine. You have everything that you need within you, and you know it. And you're not beholden to anything outside of you. You do have the clouds on the bottom of the deck, so it's not to say that doubts might not creep in, or that, you know, clouds don't pass through. You know, my yoga teacher is always saying, you know, like, our thoughts and our feelings are kind of like clouds, and just become the blue sky and let those clouds pass right on by. You know, don't let them unpack and stay. Don't let them take over the sky. Don't let them multiply. Just observe them like clouds floating by in a blue sky. And, you know, it's kind of like that. And that is a higher level perspective also. That is, you know, keeping yourself sort of above the things that would seek to bring you down, or that have the capacity. Our thoughts and feelings have more impact on our general outlook and experience than like anything anyone else does to us. You know, it's how do we feel about that? What are we telling ourselves about that? What are we thinking about that? That hurts us more than what anyone else actually really does to us. And so there is this knowledge, and it's like you're protecting yourself by not letting those kinds of things come into your life, but you're also protecting yourself by not allowing your own internal dialogue to go downhill, or to go negative, or to take you away from all of that you have worked for. All right, let's see who you're dealing with here in May. Whale spirit, trust the great mystery. Wow. And white raven spirit, trust the magic. You're getting 2 trust cards. Also a heavy emphasis on this blue color, which is the throat and the third eye chakra. You are trusting everything within yourself. And it is beautiful. It is really beautiful energy. And, you know, you're trusting your own ability to navigate. You know, you're not second guessing yourself. You've already done that. You're not wondering if maybe it's you, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. You know, I got call a spade again. And in this way, it's like you're navigating life so authentically to yourself, and to you, what you want and who you are. There's even this energy of like being afraid to say I want this, or something like that, and not anymore in May. It's like naming it, claiming it, saying, you know, this is who I am, this is what I want, I deserve this, you know, even. And then trusting for it to be delivered. There is a heavy energy of manifestation right here. And Part of what really makes manifestation powerful and really work is having trust, and that it is working, and that it is showing up for you, and that it already exists, and that all you're doing is aligning with it. Pisces, you may get some kind of apology here in May. I just keep getting that vibe. I don't know. Look at that. I want to be there for you, there to take care of you. I want to follow you through all time and universe. You are my favorite work of art. What different messages are you getting from last month? You know, this is your future, Pisces. There could be someone significant stepping up. This could be an engagement or a deepening of a level of commitment in an already existing relationship. This could also be the entrance of someone coming in hot and fast here into your life, and things really dramatically changing a lot. There's also an energy of like claiming your future. It just keeps giving me that, like, you know, in that movie Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, where he like rides out on the horse and like puts a stake in the ground and is like, this is my land, and it is his land because he claims it. That's the energy I'm getting here. All right, let me go into, before I do this, let me do this. So many decks with these 3-month readings. It always gets me a little like, plus I'm like totally in another place here. All right, for Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Wow. You are leaving. You have not today and not enough here, and then you have partying, and it is just giving me like, it feels like shedding a skin or walking away from an energy of like, people don't want me around, or people, you know, and it feels like that was all very heavily influenced by some type of bully energy or narcissist energy or something like that. And it's like, it feels very much like you are really leaving that behind and sort of enjoying some kind of like social interaction or some level of popularity. And it's kind of giving me like coming from unexpected places, but really showing up for you, where in the past it's like, it always felt like, oh, it wasn't your time, or it wasn't happening for you, or it wasn't working for you. And now it's like there's some kind of flow, some kind of freedom, and it says time with friends, having fun, living in the moment. It does say happily single too, but I don't necessarily like feel like that is really what's important. Wow. Yeah. See, this is an absolute confirmation. You have this Wheel of Fortune with the Four of Cups in reverse, with the Four of Pentacles upright. There's this energy of just being constantly disappointed, constantly let down, sort of like a wallflower energy, where it's like, is anyone really going to notice me? Is anyone going to make a strong move toward me? Is anyone, you know, out there sort of appreciating me or looking for me or whatever this is? And you know, with the Four of Pentacles, you have such power within yourself from this foundation that you built with this Knight of Pentacles energy of just putting one foot in front of the other, and that is what you're standing on, and that is where you're coming from. And it is a bit unshakable, but it's also a foundation that allows for things around you to really change. And instead of, you know, feeling disappointed and feeling left out and feeling like the one that gets left on the side of the road for dead, you're starting to kind of almost feel like the center of things. There's a major shift, a major shift. Socially, I feel like, in May. All right, guys, let's take a look at June. You know, it is Friday, and so my lawn people come and cut the grass today, and I forget about it, but then I see my dogs get up, and I'm like, oh no, it's Friday, because I don't want them to go nuts. during this reading. So I started it early before they usually come. Hopefully we'll finish it. This one has a tendency to run kind of long because we're looking at 3 months, right? So I apologize in advance if that happens. I don't think it will, though. I think we're probably still doing good on time. All right. All right, Pisces. For the month of June, what do we have for the month of June for Pisces? Ooh, a win-win outcome is forecast. Luck is on your side. Wow, wow, wow. You have the full moon in Libra, which is happening in April probably. And that's interesting. Because that's where our reading began. So there could be something that's being revealed that may have actually started in the first part of this reading in April. Pisces, there is some kind of transformation here from someone who's, you know, kind of wounded, maybe at times sad and lonely, maybe at times just feeling really trapped in their lot in life, to someone who's like, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I don't know what that song is, but that is coming. But it's like, you know, someone who's like on the catwalk is like giving me, it's like, you know, someone, and it's almost like, you know, it was always in you. This starlit kind of energy was always in you, but it got so swallowed up by the way the world treated you and how it made you feel that it kind of got lost somewhere, or it kind of got crumpled up, you know, like jumbled up, tangled, and it's being set free here and in this next 3 month period. I even feel like recognition. I even feel like your goodness or your authenticity or your version of the truth is even coming out in a way that makes it very factually permanent. You know, like it cannot be sort of questioned anymore. Let me see. Yeah, okay. You have the Emperor and the Hierophant. This, you know, the Hierophant is a bit of a public energy. It is a community kind of energy. There could even be like a particular group or man, I'm also getting, you guys, there could be some kind of commitment coming in, some kind of like divine partnership commitment. You may have someone who's going to play a profound long-term role in your life, who I feel they're bringing some kind of really strong energy towards you. It's like they're choosing you, or there's some kind of commitment here. It's bolstering your own strength. It's sort of taking you from, yeah, I know this, and yeah, other people are recognizing it to like next level. It keeps giving me like starlit. I don't normally say starlit. I don't know why I'm saying that, but that's what's coming out. Okay, let me just see what this is. It's kind of like you don't even just have your own weight behind you, someone else's weight is behind you. So, like, if this is a situation at work that we've been talking about, you may have a boss that's like throwing their weight behind you, or a company that's going to take on your idea, or there may even be like some kind of contract. Brand spanking new soulmate coming in. Did I not say that? Oh my God. Yeah. And then it says you have a mission, a soul purpose. Remember that. This is like adjust your crown and remember who the hell you are kind of energy, you know? And it feels as though there is support coming in. And it could be support from a brand new soulmate that is really like, maybe you're talking to somebody now, and by the time June rolls around, maybe it's going to be more fortified than that. There's just some kind of energy here where, like, there's cavalry coming in, okay? I don't know how else to say that. All right, let me see. And people are looking for your approval, even, Pisces, which is just different. It's like, instead of you looking for other people's approval, they're looking for yours. Yeah, this is something, my God. Wow. Oh my God. Pisces, this is something that has been developing over time. And even it was developing in a time where it felt like you were swallowed whole by darkness. Like, where you just didn't even know where this was gonna come out, you know? It's showing me my husband's shortcut. Like, he has a shortcut that's a long cut, but it's like a rural road that there's like kind of a high, you know, if you guys have ever been to Central Florida, you know, and you've ever driven on I-4, you have to know that it's basically a parking lot every day between Orlando and Tampa. And so my husband has a road that he takes that's like 3 or 4 miles longer, maybe more than that, but it's not I-4. You know, it goes like around and comes out, and he goes through like this really like randomly rural area, and then all of a sudden he pops out on this road that's sort of kind of close to our house ish. And so he'll take that, like, it's always faster if I-4 is moving to take I-4, but like if it's not, then he takes this rural road, even though it's longer. It's giving me that vibe of like where you're about to pop out on the road that's right by your house. You know what I mean? That feeling that you get where you're like, oof, I'm close now. You know, I got through that gauntlet, or I got around the hard part, or you know what I mean? Like, I got past all of that, everything that sought to stop me, to hold me back, to keep me stuck, to fuck with me. I'm just gonna say it because that's what's coming to me. I did it. I navigated around it. You know, it may have taken me a while. It may have been one foot in front of the other. It may not have been pretty. I may not have known where I was always going, so I might have taken a few other extra routes, or added a couple miles here and there and there. It might not have been the most direct route, but like, damn, here I am, like a step away from the finish line. And, you know, I didn't even realize that this is where it was going to let me out, or I didn't even realize that it was going to put me this close to what I always wanted, or to what I was really working for. I didn't realize that even when all those things weren't working out for me, and I had to venture out alone on that path in the darkness, that it was actually a gift, that it actually really was leading me so much closer to home than, you know, than that route that felt like it was closed off to me. Do you see what I'm saying? You're finding out that something was a blessing here, and it's being rectified. It's being balanced. And the hummingbird, I just read about this other bird that flew from Alaska to Australia in one fell swoop. It took them 11 days and 1 hour. They had a tracker on it. And this bird actually shrinks, its organ size shrinks by like half to make room for it to carry enough fuel to go all that way without stopping. It doesn't ever take a break. It doesn't ever glide. Its wings are flapping the entire time. It is keeping itself alive and afloat and in the air and flying and actively moving toward its intended goal the entire time. Yet how can a bird do that? Fly from Alaska to Tasmania in 11 days and 1 hour without stopping. That seems utterly impossible. Well, the flamingo, guys, I have flamingo on my mind. They've begun nesting in Florida again, which also is against all the odds. But a hummingbird is the size of my thumb, and it travels across the entire Gulf of Mexico the same way without stopping in its migration. It's literally, supposedly impossible, but it does it every year. And so does that bird from Alaska to Australia. And it's like, maybe, okay, if we could, stop in San Francisco or, Galveston, Texas, or I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. But like, it would be easier, or that seems like the logical way to go. Or, to our human thinking mind, it's like, well, it would be so much better if their migration pattern had a couple days in San Francisco, where they could like regroup and whatever. But that's not, that bird actually doesn't need it. The bird might think it needs it, and it might not realize that it's setting off on an 11-day trek, although I think it does, because it prepares its body for it. But anyway, I'm getting off the track of what's important in this message, and that is just that, Pisces, this is that moment where you kind of realize, like, yeah, you could have taken I-4 home and, whatever, but if you would have, you never would have known your own strength. You never would have known your own power. You never would have known that you actually are capable of doing what seems impossible, or, against the odds at the very least. And that people can actively be fighting against you, or be, trying to undermine you or chip away at whatever it is, but you are so capable. You hold on, harness the power of the alchemist. The magician has come out twice in this reading. That you have all of these tools within you. And when you listen to them, when you plug into them, when you acknowledge your own strength and your own power and your own wisdom, and you truly listen to it and you truly let it guide you, you achieve things that are seemingly impossible to other people. And that's why you scare the shit out of people, and that's why people come for you. But you are taking yourself to some other echelon where, people can try or whatever, but it doesn't even chink your armor. It doesn't even affect you. Whatever the clarity and the realization, remember you just had that sun underneath that tower. Whatever you're coming to understand and realize about yourself and about life is very, very different than the stuff you were telling yourself in the dark. You're emerging into the light in a different way, with a different set of knowledge and a different understanding of yourself and even what you're capable of here. Let me see who is showing up in June. Who is the heavy influence in June? Please show us, Spirit. I'm so excited to know that I am like dropping cards left and right. You guys are getting the Badger again. Be fearless and bold, Pisces. Look at this. You have the snake spirit and the sandpiper spirit. And this snake spirit, we just really finished the year of the snake and moved into the year of the horse, is it? Yeah, the fire horse. it is time to fully let go of that past identity. That person that was moving in the dark, that didn't know where they were going, that felt like they were only in the dark because I-4 was off limits to them. And they weren't allowed to use the main road because people were blocking it or whatever. You know what I mean? Clogging it, preventing them from being able to move. Like everyone else can use it, but I'm not able to. And there's this energy of just letting it all go. And in the beginning here in April, we saw that full card with the Three of Wands. It was so powerful a feeling when I saw it, where it's like, wow, I'm definitely not looking in the rearview mirror. I am literally only facing forward. And that choice has already been made. I'm already on that path. I'm already on this path of moving forward. And by the time June comes around, we are really separating ourselves from a past identity or even those past burdens that we had to let go of in order to really embrace that in April. There isn't even the residue of it, and as a result, the Sandpiper spirit, we're able to be here in the moment and playful and looking at life like the joyous miracle that it actually really is. I mean, it's a phenomenal, mind-blowing thing when you think about the experience of life. I mean, you are a spiritual being in a human body, tethered to that body through your breath, something that you don't even think about. That's what enables you to experience this miracle all the time. And this Sandpiper spirit is this creative, playful, fun energy of just the celebration of that life and opening up and saying yes to all of life. You are fearless and you are bold, Pisces. You have overcome a lot. You have overcome the things that have sought to take you down. You have already done that. You've already proven your strength and your resilience and your ability to get back up. And life is so much more than that. And now here you're opening up to the more than that. You may even have someone coming into your life that brings this side of you out even more. I'm like literally getting like dance in the rain, step in the puddles. When my granddog was a puppy, she loved puddles. And if she would see a puddle, she would go like jump in it. She's a Labrador Retriever mix. And it was the funniest freaking thing. Like, it really wasn't funny when she made your shoes wet and you were like a mile from home and you had to walk all the way home with wet shoes. You'd be like, oh, honey. But it was so stinking cute. And she still has this like playfulness about her where she like jumps up, kind of hops up and drops both of her front paws at the same time. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm getting that energy of like play in the puddle, splash in the puddle, do it, just do it. Just enjoy life. Just feel it all, sense it all. Like, you are a deep feeler. Feel what it feels like to really live in a joyful, expressive, moment to moment way. You are my rose. I wasn't looking for this. I don't know how to deal with this. I know who you are to me. I'm afraid if you touch me, you will destroy me. There is something coming to the light here from a past situation, something that's becoming very, very obvious to you and maybe even everyone around you. This energy, I wasn't looking for this, I don't know how to deal with this, came out when we were talking about the poisonous person, the toxic person in the beginning. And, I think this person is understanding that you are a lesson for them. You are the anti-venom, you are the foil for them. You are the opposite of them that exposes them. And, it is only a matter of time before you find your people. You are my rose is on the bottom of the deck. There is someone coming in, Pisces, or people coming in that see you as absolutely beautiful. And the more you open up, the more you unfold, the more a rose in bud is beautiful and it smells good and it's soft and it's pretty and vibrant and it holds all this promise and hope and it's beautiful in its own way. But that rose, like if you get a rose that really opens up, that really, really opens up, you can smell it a mile away. You can see its beauty a mile away. And the closer you get, the more beautiful it becomes. And that is what I'm getting. There is this sense of wanting to know you, you know, you opening up, you being fearless, you being bold, you really showing who you really are and just really exposing it, and people getting the chance to see the beauty that is you, Pisces, here. Wow. You have this Princess of Pentacles energy. You know, you have learned some deeply spiritual lessons along your way here to this victory, Pisces, but you are getting this full recognition. With the Six of Cups, I do feel you have, oh my gosh, look at that. You have someone coming in to splash in the puddles of life with you, Pisces, to laugh at it all. It's being revealed. You know, you're trusting yourself. You know that, like, if you desire something or if you feel passionately about something, it's for a reason. You also trust your own intellectual ability to achieve whatever you want. You have been honing your own mental process here for so long, of how you're going to allow yourself to look at things, what you're going to allow to affect you, what you're not going to allow to affect you, who you're going to let into your life, who you're not going to let into your life. This is a passionate new beginning, Pisces. You have completed a chapter, and it was a hard-fought victory. Here are my lawn people right as we are ready to finish. So let me let you go before my dogs start going nuts. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this 3-month reading brought you some peace and clarity. Let me know how it goes. Like, share, and comment. I love you guys. Thank you again for your prayers for Debbie. I deeply appreciate it. Debbie, we all love you. We're sending you so much strength and hope and healing and love, and I hope you feel it. Until next time, guys, all my best. Always, always. Bye-bye.